Let me ask you something. Why do some people walk into a room and instantly command respect, while others fade into the background like furniture? Is it luck? Charisma? A secret handshake we didn't get the memo on? Nope, it's habits. And today, I'm spilling the tea on rare, borderline controversial habits that can skyrocket your social status without you having to fake a thing. Some of these will make you nod in agreement. Some might make you cringe. And a few? Well, let's just say they'll have you questioning everything you thought you knew about being likable. Ready to level up? Let's do this. 1. Learn to tell a good story. Okay, here's the deal. Storytelling is a superpower. It's not just a nice to have. It's the thing that makes people remember you. Humans are wired for stories. It's in our DNA. But here's the controversial bit. Most people absolutely suck at it. Yeah, I said it. We either ramble, overshare, or leave out the juicy details that make the story worth listening to in the first place. So let's fix that. First rule of good storytelling: make your audience feel something. Nobody cares about the time you went to the grocery store unless you were chased by a squirrel holding a baguette. Drama, humor, suspense, those are your tools. Use them. Now, let me get personal. A few years ago, I was at a networking event. I know, those things are the worst. Anyway, this big shot CEO asked me, "What's something unique about you?" My brain short-circuited, and instead of listing my achievements, I told a random story about how I once accidentally walked into the wrong wedding and ended up giving a toast. The room erupted in laughter. Guess what? That story got me way more connections than any boring elevator pitch could have. Why? Because it was memorable and relatable. Nobody remembers facts. They remember feelings. Here's the controversial part. Good storytelling isn't about accuracy. It's about impact. Now, I'm not saying you should lie, but do you need to embellish a little to make it entertaining? Absolutely. Did that squirrel really hold a baguette? Maybe not. But the mental image? Chef's kiss. Look, people love drama. They love twists, surprises, and punchlines. If your story doesn't have a wait what moment, it's not a story. It's a grocery list. And here's the deeper message. Storytelling isn't just about entertaining others. It's about connecting. When you tell a story, you're inviting people into your world. You're saying, "Here's a piece of me. Do you relate?" It's how we bond as humans. Think about your favorite people in life. They probably have great stories, right? And it's not because they've lived the craziest lives. It's because they know how to frame their experiences in a way that resonates. You don't have to have climbed Mount Everest or survived a bear attack. Even the simplest moments, like a failed cooking experiment or a weird conversation with your neighbor, can become legendary if you tell them right. So here's your homework. Pick one thing that's happened to you recently and turn it into a story. Add a little suspense, a little humor, and a killer ending. Try it out at your next dinner party or group chat. Trust me, when you become the person with the best stories, people will remember you, and maybe even fight for a seat next to you. But hey, no pressure, unless, of course, you want to be unforgettable. 2. Laugh, but don't overdo it. Laughter is magical. It's the social glue that makes people feel connected, safe, and like they belong. But here's the thing. Too much laughter can get weird. Yep, I said it. Laughing at everything can make you look insincere, nervous, or, worst of all, like you're trying too hard. Controversial, maybe. But we've all met that one person who laughs at literally everything. And let's be honest, it doesn't scream cool and collected. It screams, "I don't know what to do with my hands." So let's unpack this. Why laughing too much can backfire. When you overlaugh at bad jokes, awkward comments, or things that aren't even meant to be funny, it dilutes the moments when you genuinely laugh. People can sense when you're forcing it. And the truth is, forced laughter doesn't build connection, it builds discomfort. Story time. I used to be that person. In college, I had this huge crush on someone in my class. Every time they said anything remotely funny, I'd laugh like it was the greatest joke of the century. Did it make them like me more? Nope. Instead, they started using me as their automatic laugh track. You know, that person they talk to when they need their ego boosted? Yeah, not a good look. The flip side, not laughing enough. Now, on the other hand, not laughing at all can make you look cold and unapproachable. Nobody wants to hang out with someone who's serious all the time. The trick is finding that sweet spot, the laugh that feels real and connects you to the people around you. And here's the controversial part. Sometimes not laughing is the most powerful move you can make. When someone cracks a joke that's mean-spirited or just plain inappropriate, staying silent sends a stronger message than fake laughter ever could. I remember sitting in a meeting once where someone made a joke at a co-worker's expense. Everyone gave this awkward little chuckle, but I didn't. You know what happened? That co-worker came up to me later and said, "Thanks for not laughing. That meant a lot." Boom. Instant respect. The bottom line, laughter isn't just about reacting to humor. It's about signaling who you are. Laughing at the right moments shows you're present, you have a sense of humor, and you're not afraid to let loose. But laughing authentically tells people that you're real. You don't have to laugh to please people. You laugh because you want to, because something genuinely tickles you. That's the deeper message. Laughter is a reflection of how you see the world. So don't fake it just to fit in. Real connections happen when people see your true vibe, not when you're pretending their dad jokes are Oscar-worthy. Your challenge. The next time someone makes a joke, ask yourself, do you actually find it funny? If the answer is yes, laugh like you mean it. If not, try holding back and seeing how it feels. You'll notice something crazy. People will start taking you more seriously because your laughter is rare, genuine, and earned. And hey, if you're wondering where to start, just remember, laughing at yourself is always a safe bet. Life's too short to be too cool for a good laugh. Just don't overdo it. Unless you're watching cat videos, then go nuts. 3. Genuine compliments. Compliments are the social currency of human interaction. Done right, a genuine compliment can make someone's entire day and leave them thinking, wow, this person really sees me. Done wrong, though, you might come off as fake, manipulative, or, worst of all, completely forgettable. Yeah, I said it. Forgettable. Giving a compliment is both an art and a science, yet a lot of people are out here throwing weak, generic compliments like, nice shirt. What even is that? So let's break this down. First things first. If you're giving compliments just to get something in return, stop. People can smell ulterior motives from a mile away. When your, "Oh, I love your shoes," is immediately followed by the way, "Can you help me move this weekend?" Guess what? You've lost all credibility. That's not a compliment, that's a strategy, and nobody likes being played. Now, here's where it gets controversial. Not everyone deserves a compliment. Yeah, I said it. If someone didn't put in the effort, why are we out here handing out gold stars? Compliments should be earned, not participation trophies. Let's raise the bar, people. Here's a personal story. A few years ago, I had a co-worker named Sarah. Sarah wasn't the loudest or most popular person in the office, but she had this incredible knack for writing emails that were clear, concise, and, dare I say, almost poetic. One day, I told her, "Sarah, your emails are so well written, they make me want to frame them." She laughed, but then she got quiet and said, "Wow, nobody's ever noticed that before." You know what happened after that? Sarah started walking a little taller, contributing more in meetings, and we became real friends. all because I complimented something that was specific and real. That's the magic of a genuine compliment. It makes people feel seen. But here's the thing. Giving a genuine compliment requires effort. You have to actually pay attention. You can't just look at someone and say, nice vibes. Compliments should be specific, thoughtful, and ideally tied to something unique about that person. For example, instead of nice haircut, say, your new haircut really brings out your eyes. Boom, instant connection. And let me just say this, complimenting someone's personality or actions will always hit harder than complimenting their appearance. Try something like, I admire how patient you were in that meeting, or you have such a calming presence. It makes people feel comfortable. That kind of compliment is rare, and it sticks. Here's another spicy take. Stop using compliments as a way to dodge awkwardness. You know what I'm talking about. When you don't know what to say, and you blurt out, nice shoes, just to fill the silence. That's not a compliment, that's social noise. Instead, embrace the silence or say something meaningful. People will respect you more for it. And here's the deeper message. Compliments are more than just words. They're tiny acts of kindness that say, I notice you, I appreciate you. In a world where everyone is rushing, distracted, and focused on themselves, a genuine compliment is a gift. It's proof that you're present and paying attention. And honestly, isn't that what we all want? To be seen, really seen. So here's your challenge today. Give one compliment that's so real and so specific, it catches someone off guard. Compliment the way they handled a tough situation, the effort they put into a project, or even the way they made you feel. Watch their face light up. And watch how good it makes you feel too. And hey, remember, the best compliments aren't just about the person you're giving them to. They're a reflection of you. So make them count. No more nice weather comments. Let's aim higher, people. 4. Own your mistakes. Fast. All right, let's talk about something nobody wants to admit. We all mess up. Big time, little time, every time. But here's the thing. What separates people who command respect from those who fade into the background isn't their ability to avoid mistakes. Spoiler, nobody avoids mistakes. It's their ability to own them, quickly, confidently, and without a truckload of excuses. Sounds simple, right? Wrong. Most people avoid owning their mistakes like it's a haunted house. But here's the truth. Dodging blame doesn't save you, it sinks you. Now, here's the controversial part. Owning your mistakes can actually make people like you more, even when you've messed up. Why? Because it shows maturity, accountability, and self-awareness, which, by the way, are ridiculously rare qualities these days. But if you're out here dodging responsibility, pointing fingers, or worse, pretending it never happened, you're just building a big old house of cards. And trust me, it's going to collapse. Let me be real. I used to be the queen of excuses. Once, I missed a deadline and blamed it on email issues. Did I get away with it? Sure, in the moment. But people aren't dumb. Over time, I noticed my credibility tanking because nobody trusted me to own up to things. Lesson learned the hard way, folks. Flash forward to a few years later, I accidentally double-booked myself for 2 important events, a work presentation and my best friend's birthday dinner. Total disaster. Instead of lying, I called my boss, owned up, and asked if we could move the presentation. I also called my best friend and promised to make it up to her. Big time. Guess what? They both respected me more for admitting my mistake. Turns out, people don't expect you to be perfect. They just expect you to be honest. Shocking, right? Here's why this matters. When you own your mistakes quickly, you take control of the narrative. You're not just waiting for someone to call you out or letting the mistake fester like a bad smell. You're stepping up and saying, hey, I messed up and here's what I'm doing to fix it. That kind of accountability is powerful. It shows you're not afraid to be vulnerable. And vulnerability, my friends, is the birthplace of trust. Think about it. Who do you trust more? The person who always seems suspiciously flawless, or the person who says, "Yeah, I messed up, but I'm fixing it"? The latter, right? Because they're real, and real always wins. But let me add a twist. Don't overdo it. There's a fine line between owning your mistakes and turning every little slip-up into a drama fest. Nobody wants to hear a 20-minute apology for forgetting to send an email. Say sorry, fix it, and move on. The faster you address it, the less power the mistake holds over you, and the less awkward everyone feels. And here's the kicker. When you own your mistakes, you teach other people that it's okay to own theirs. You create a culture where people feel safe admitting when they're wrong, and that's a gift. Imagine a world where everyone stopped pretending they were perfect. Wild, right? But it starts with you. Owning your mistakes isn't just about protecting your reputation. It's about showing people you're human. And honestly, that's a status boost no fancy title or Instagram post can give you. So here's your challenge. The next time you mess up, and trust me, it's coming, own it fast. Don't hide. Don't blame your dog. Don't wait for the right time. Say, "I messed up. Here's how I'm fixing it," and move on. Oh, and bonus points if you can laugh about it afterward. Because at the end of the day, mistakes aren't what define us. It's how we handle them that people remember. So go out there, screw up spectacularly, and own it like a pro. 5. Learn people's names and use them. Okay, let's be real. Forgetting someone's name is a universal crime of social interaction. We've all been there. You're mid-conversation, your brain is scrambling, and all you can think is, "Oh my God, is it Steve? Stan? Starfish?" It's awkward, it's embarrassing, and it's totally avoidable. Learning people's names and actually using them is a rare and underrated habit that instantly raises your social status. But here's the controversial twist. Most people are too lazy to do it. Yep, I said it, lazy. Let's fix that. Why do names matter so much? Because a name isn't just a label, it's a tiny piece of someone's identity. When you remember and use someone's name, you're telling them, "You matter to me." It's like giving them a verbal hug. But here's where people get it wrong. They don't even try. How many times have you heard someone say, "Oh, I'm just bad with names," like it's some genetic flaw? Nope. That's just an excuse. Let me hit you with some truth. Saying you're bad with names is like saying you're bad at math but never practicing. The problem isn't your memory, it's your effort. Story time. A few years ago, I worked at this huge company where I interacted with dozens of people every day. There was this one security guard, Jim, who greeted everyone with a big smile, but most people never even bothered to learn his name. One day, I made it a point to say, "Good morning, Jim," and you know what happened? He lit up like I'd just handed him a winning lottery ticket. Fast forward a few months, Jim was the guy who saved my day when I locked myself out of my office. Why? Because we had a connection. Because I saw him. That's the power of using someone's name. It creates bonds where none existed before. Here's the controversial bit. If you don't bother to remember someone's name, it kind of says, "You don't care." Harsh, but true. Think about it. How can you expect people to respect you or feel connected to you if you can't even remember one basic thing about them? I'm not saying you need to memorize the entire guest list at a wedding, but if you've met someone 3 times and still call them a buddy, it's a bad look. And let's not forget the absolute cardinal sin, using the wrong name. Oh, you think forgetting is bad? Try calling someone Jessica when their name is Jennifer. Game over. So let's put some effort in, people. Here's how to nail this. Repeat the name as soon as you hear it. Nice to meet you, Priya. Boom. Associate it with something memorable. Priya likes pizza. Priya, pizza. Done. Use it casually in conversation. So, Priya, what do you think about this? If you forget, just ask. Seriously, it's better to admit it than to avoid using their name forever. Pro tip. People love hearing their name. It triggers a feel-good response in the brain. Using their name subtly during a conversation makes them feel important and makes you look like the most attentive person in the room. But let's take it deeper. Remembering someone's name isn't just a social trick. It's a way of honoring their existence. In a world where people feel overlooked and undervalued, calling someone by their name is a small act of humanity that says, "I see you, you matter." And isn't that what we all want? To be seen. It's funny how something so simple can have such a big impact. But the truth is, small habits like this are what separate the people you remember from the people you forget. Here's your challenge. This week, make it your mission to remember the name of every new person you meet and use it at least twice in the conversation. Bonus points if you text yourself their name later or write it down. It might feel weird at first, but trust me, when you start doing this, people will notice and they'll respect you more for it. And hey, if you mess up, don't sweat it. Just laugh it off and try again. Because the effort alone says, "I care." And that, my friends, is what makes people remember you. 6. Have opinions, but don't be a jerk. About it. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. Having opinions. In a world where people are terrified of saying the wrong thing, too many of us default to nodding politely and agreeing with whatever's being said. But here's the truth. If you don't have opinions, you don't stand out. Period. Being a human echo chamber doesn't raise your social status. It makes you invisible. But, and this is where it gets controversial, having opinions doesn't mean steamrolling every conversation like a bulldozer at a tea party. You've got to balance confidence with kindness. So let's talk about how to be opinionated without being, that person. Why having opinions matters. First of all, having opinions is attractive. It shows you think for yourself, have values, and aren't afraid to stand by them. Whether it's your take on pineapple on pizza, yes, it's amazing, don't at me. Or your stance on something bigger, like climate change, sharing your thoughts adds flavor to your personality. But here's where people mess up. They either don't speak up at all, or they go full throttle, shoving their beliefs down everyone's throat. Nobody likes a fence-sitter who's like, "Oh, I don't know, I'm fine with whatever." And nobody likes a know-it-all who treats every debate like it's a courtroom battle. The sweet spot? Confident but open-minded. Story time. I used to be the person who avoided sharing my opinions because I didn't want to rock the boat. Once, during a group dinner, someone asked, "What's your favorite movie?" I panicked and said, "Oh, I like everything." Guess what happened? The conversation moved right past me. But then, a few weeks later, someone brought up The Princess Bride, and I finally said, "That's my favorite movie of all time, and here's why." Boom! Suddenly, we were debating why it's the best movie ever, and I was part of the conversation, not just a silent observer. Lesson learned. If you want to connect with people, you've got to bring something to the table, your real thoughts, not just fluff. How to disagree without being a jerk. Now here's the controversial part. You will disagree with people, and that's okay. In fact, it's necessary. But the key is to disagree with grace. Don't roll your eyes or start yelling, "You're wrong." That's a one-way ticket to social pariahville. Instead, say something like, "I see where you're coming from, but here's how I look at it." Boom, you've shared your opinion, kept the vibe respectful, and probably earned more respect than if you had just nodded along. The deeper message. Your opinions are a reflection of who you are. They show what you care about, what you value, and how you see the world. And when you share them thoughtfully, you give people permission to do the same. You create a space for real, meaningful conversations, not just surface-level chit-chat. But let me be clear, having an opinion doesn't mean you're always right. Being willing to say, you know what, you've got a point, or I hadn't thought of it that way, shows strength, not weakness. Conversations aren't about proving a point, they're about learning. How to nail this one? Know your stuff. If you're going to have an opinion, make sure it's informed. Don't be that person spouting nonsense just to sound smart. 2. Pick your battles. Not every hill is worth dying on. 3. Deliver your opinion with a side of curiosity. Ask questions like, why do you think that? Or, what's your take on this? It turns a potential clash into a conversation. Your challenge. The next time someone asks for your opinion, don't hold back. Whether it's a small thing like your favorite ice cream flavor or a big topic like the best way to solve world hunger, speak your truth, but do it with kindness and curiosity. And hey, if someone disagrees with you, don't take it personally. Remember, your opinion isn't just about being heard, it's about opening the door to deeper connections. So go out there, share your thoughts, and let the world see who you really are, because trust me, that's what makes people remember you. Wrapping it up all right, folks, we've reached the end of our wild ride today. We didn't just talk about raising your social status, we redefined it. Because let's be honest, this isn't about flexing on social media or pretending to have it all together. It's about building real connections, creating a presence people feel, and showing up as your truest, most intentional self. But here's the kicker. None of these habits matter if you're just taking notes and not taking action. So let me ask you, what's one thing you're going to try starting today? Is it learning names, owning your mistakes, maybe just daring to share an opinion without fearing judgment? Drop it in the comments. And hey, no judgment here. Unless it's about pineapple on pizza, kidding, you do you. If you found even one nugget of wisdom, or at least had a good laugh, do me a favor, smash that like button. Seriously, it's free, it helps the channel, and let's be real, it's like a virtual high five. And don't stop there. Share this video with that one friend who could use a little status upgrade. You know who I'm talking about, the one who still calls everyone dude because they can't remember names. Yeah, send this their way. You might just save their social life. One last thing. On a deeper note, I hope today's message sticks with you. Social status isn't about being the loudest person in the room or racking up followers. It's about how you make people feel when they're around you. Do they feel seen? Do they feel respected? Do they leave thinking, wow, that person really has something special? That's the kind of impact we should all aim for. And here's the truth. None of us are perfect at this. I'm still learning, still messing up, still growing. But that's the beauty of it. Status isn't static. It's something you shape every day with your words, your actions, and how you show up for others. It's never too late to level up, and if you want to keep leveling up, you're in the right place. Subscribe and join this incredible community of curious, motivated, and slightly mischievous people who are all about growing together. I mean, who doesn't want to be part of a squad like that? Also, if you've got ideas for future topics, habits, life hacks, or even the weird stuff you're too scared to Google, drop them in the comments. Your suggestions fuel this channel, and honestly, some of my best content comes straight from you guys. So don't hold back. Before I go, let me leave you with this. Every interaction you have is a chance to make someone's day a little better. A smile, a kind word, remembering their name. These small things don't just raise your social status, they ripple out and create a better world. Cheesy? Maybe. True? 100%. So go out there, be bold, be kind, and don't be afraid to be yourself, because the world doesn't need another copy, it needs you. And hey, don't forget to laugh a little along the way. Life's way too short to take it too seriously. Thanks for spending your time with me today. You're amazing, you're capable, and you're already one step ahead just by being here. I'll see you in the next video. Stay awesome, stay curious, and as always, stay unapologetically you. Peace.